So, Louis, if you remember the best management advice you got in your life.
So the best management advice I got in my life probably is mostly centered around people, I would say. And it's just basically that, like,
Mhm.
my mentor used to tell me all the time that people are leaky abstractions. And so even though we have this handshake deal
Yeah.
with the business that we're going to go do this, they might change their mind and pull the plug on it tomorrow. And so we need to just be talking to them, and we need to do all these different things that you would normally, like, not factor in, because if I'm writing good code, if I'm building, that's my job, right? Like, why do I even need to talk to the business or the product or whoever? And so just this idea that even though we're writing code, even though we're building products, people run the world, and basically you need to be building up your network in your company. You need to constantly keep an eye on that, because it could derail everything you're working on. And so I think that's really important. And you see that, even big, like, so a lot of these FANG companies, like, basically Google, and they're built by engineers, they're run by engineers, and so everybody has, engineers go in there, right? And engineers are very smart. I'm an engineer. I love code. I love computers and all of that. And so they think, okay, this follows a set of rules, and the rules are this. If I just add impact, I get my promotion. There's no question asked. And then you find out that that's not really how it works, right? Because behind the scenes, when they go into these calibration meetings, and when they're fighting with each other. And so it's really hard to assess whose impact is bigger than another person's, and all these other things. And so all these leaky abstractions start coming out. And this is true, because even organizations like, I don't know, there was like a whole scandal at Bridgewater a few years ago. And Bridgewater is this thing that's supposed to be run with radical candor and transparency, right? And it turned out that one of the C-level people was, like, basically caught lying. And then Ray Dalio, the guy in charge, they did a whole investigation, and they record every meeting, and they find out that, okay, they were lying. And they didn't fire the person. They didn't fire the person. And so what does that tell you, right? That nothing is systemic that way. Nothing is systemic. And as long as people are in charge, there will always be little things that happen. And so you have to keep an eye on people. You have to build those relationships, and don't believe that it's just this, like, A, B, C, and D. It is largely, but you have to keep an eye on human beings. You have to talk to human beings. You have to build relationships. And that's also going to help you, right? Like, it's not just about, getting a promotion. It's not just about, it's going to help you become a better developer, a better coworker, a better everything. And so I always used to tell my team that, do the one-on-ones, reach out to so-and-so. They would ask questions like, why is the business thinking about, why don't you go ask them? Just slack them and set up the meeting and just ask, and get to know the person. And I think that goes such a long way. And it sounds like, okay, you might end up in a lot of meetings and things like that. But I think, like, these meetings, you might have, like, once a month or once a quarter. And it's 30 minutes of your time. And that's going to go such a long way if, let's say that, your manager's pushing for your promotion, and you have a great relationship with other teams because they know you've done a great job, and now your manager's fighting for your promotion, and then another manager speaks up and says, I work with that person, I know they're very good. That is it. Like, it's going to happen, right? You have more than one person fighting for you, and these are weird little things that people don't, I say they undervalue. You cannot undervalue that stuff. Like, even at Google, look, even at Google, the guy that ran Android, they had to fire him and give him hundreds of millions of dollars. The whole thing is leaky abstractions. The whole thing is messed up. And so you have to keep that in mind,
True.
that there will be things that happen that will not be fair. And so you have to just do everything in your power to, your career is your responsibility. You have to build your network. You cannot ignore that and just be heads down. It's not gonna work, basically. And I used to tell my people that all the time. And I hired, very, very smart people that were super heads down. But, I would force them, and they would force themselves, and it worked out. And I think that's a really good, piece of advice I got, to just keep an eye on the leaky abstractions, because it
Okay.
accumulates, you know.
True, true. No, it's a very good advice. So